Going to the consumer interface, we can see it has accept method, which takes one input parameter. So similarly, by consumer, as we discussed, it will take two input parameters. So accept method for the consumer, it takes one input parameter and it doesn't return anything. Now it has one default method as well, the consumer interface, and it is used for chaining. We'll see how we can chain with the and then method. Going back, so how we can instantiate these consumer interfaces, we can assign it to a lambda expression. So here we pass generic string as a generic. So string as a generic means it will take input as a string. So we can pass input as a string. Now once we have created the instance or we have initialized our consumer interface, we can call accept method. Accept method we have already seen. Consumer interface has one accept method and we are passing the string. So this is just it will take one input parameter. I can just see I'm printing the class or method name consumer interface. So yeah, print this inside the consumer interface. So inside consumer interface. See, coming to the chaining part. Um, so chaining part we can, as I told, we can use and then method. So how we should read it? Let's see. So there are two consumer interface instances which I have created. One is populate rest data. What it will do, it will just take an input and it will, let's say you are doing a REST API. Just consider that you are calling here a REST API and you're populating this data, REST data into this list. So this is the first interface which is just populating the REST data, and then the second interface is printing the REST data. Okay. So how we can change is how you should read it is populate REST data accept. So we have called from the populate REST data accept method. It will take one array list and it will populate the rest data, and then and after this print data will be called. So after this, once the input has been populated, data has been populated, then print data will be called, and in the print data, the input will be the same list, and uh, we are just printing it out, and I have also printed the method name. So we can see already see the output I've already run in the previous. So see, inside the consumer interface chain method, inside the consumer interface chain method, and it's printing the data item. So it's we are printing it, right? So just we are printing the item. So item laptop, item mobile, item smartwatch, and so on. Do like and share, and I'm sharing the GitHub link in the description. You can refer for the complete code details. Have you ever thought where Java uses the consumer interface for each method, which we use for the printing the data, right? So inside the for each method, Java takes the consumer. So see, it is taking a consumer interface as an input. Um, now, why? Because for each, we just have to take one input parameter. We don't have to return anything. It will just print it, right? For each, we are just printing it, or we are doing just some operations, but we are not returning anything. So for each internally uses a consumer interface. Similar to the consumer interface, we have by consumer interface. It just takes the two input parameters. We can quickly see the by consumer interface. See, it's a accept method, and then again for the chaining, we have already seen the chaining with the consumer. Now it will just take the two input parameters, and we can run it. It's very straightforward. Yeah. So that's all for the consumer interface. And remember, the Java for each uses the consumer interface.